Hello guys, welcome back to a new video. So today we're going to be looking at the KASPA ASIC hosting from Iceriver. So they do offer this hosting kind of service from Iceriver. I believe that Bitmain is actually coming up with a hosting service as well. They have had certain people talk about it, and I think they're going for 10 cents per kilowatt hour on the price. But Iceriver have offered this as well for 2 machines. Well, technically 3 machines, but these are sold out. And personally, I wouldn't have gone for these anyway. These were quite a while back. They had these on offer. So today we're going to be looking at, kind of a price analysis of the rewards from these and what it would be compared to just buying KASPA coin with this amount that you see here on both of these ASICs. So right here we have our KASPA ASIC ROI updated. So price of KASPA coin right now, the return per megahash, return per terahash, the cost per kilowatt hour, and the block reward. So this block reward, I'm just going to go in and say that you're going to be actually putting these online, as it says here, on the 10th of July or the 20th of July. So the emission schedule right now is actually at 103, but by the time that these come online, it's going to be at 97. So that's why we're doing it at 98, but this is actually just 97.998. So the figure that we see on the emission schedule. So we have these two miners here. So we have the KS5M and the KS5L. So if you don't know what hosting is, it's basically where Iceriver will host it for you. You buy their product and then they mine for you. You get a share of the profits as well. As it says here, and we just discussed it, July 10th or July 20th is when you can get them online, limited to 20 units per account, and the hosting electricity cost is 0.08 cents per kilowatt hour. So pretty low cost. A lot of people don't have 8 cents per kilowatt hour. They'll normally have around, 10 is the standard, but 12 and 15 is slowly becoming the new standard for a lot of people across the globe. So 8 cents per kilowatt hour is actually really good in terms of the hosting electricity cost. And then anything above that, I believe, is your profitability to be had. So that's why we've gone with 0.8 on the cost per kilowatt hour, so that we can calculate this as you would have them online a month later. So we have the KS5M and the KS5L. Here are the hash rates. So we have 15 terahash and 12 terahash. The power is actually the same. I don't really know what the difference between the two is. Maybe one of them has more overclocked boards or something like that. Here is the daily reward of KASPA coin. So we take the return per terahash times by the price of KASPA coin, gives us the KASPA reward daily, and then the price of these two ASICs. So I believe if you were going to buy these and have it delivered to your own place, you'd have to pay the shipping cost as well. So there's going to be extra price, which makes this kind of better to do the hosting, I would say, because it doesn't really necessarily matter about the price per kilowatt hour because that's already set. You don't have to deal with that. Plus the shipping cost is going to add more, so it's a longer ROI time. So here is the revenue calculated based off the price of KASPA coin and how much KASPA coin we're getting daily. And the profit is the revenue minus the cost per kilowatt hour for the 3,400 watts per hour. And then right here on this last line is our ROI time. So 139 days and 115 days. So just based off this, and we're not looking too far into the future, this is going based off the block rewards right now, but we can look down here to see what the actual figure is. But we're having 115 days, which is around 3 and a bit months. And then the KS5M is around 4 months and a little bit more. So we're only focusing on these top 2 lines. These are just from previous videos and previous calculations. When it comes to the KS5M and the KS5L, this is the months. So each month, this is how much you'll roughly get for each month. And obviously the green being the positive and red being the negative. This is going based off the emission schedule. And I think we've got it played out for the next 25 months. So around 2 years, basically. Now, the one thing that I do want to mention is this doesn't account for the hash rate increasing. So that's a factor that we can't really predict. There's obviously going to be more hash rate hitting the network. So we'll obviously have to see how that affects the price and the ROI times. I'm assuming that we're going to have still more hash rate coming onto the network. So these figures will obviously be extended a little bit 4 months down the line, we're probably going to have a little bit more added on top of this, so it could affect the ROI times. But just looking based off this, in the first month, it's minus 879. Then the second month, 4166. Third month is 2548. And fourth month is 1022. And then in the fifth month, you become profitable on the KS5M with a profitability of around $420. So your ROI in around 4 months, and then the next month after that is $420. So with the KS5L, as we've already seen, it actually has a quicker ROI time. I think this is just to do with the price strictly, because the price is around 2,000 less on the KS5L than the KS5M, and the hash rate doesn't reflect that as much. So that's why we're seeing a lower ROI time for this. So we've got 3,500, 2,100, 878, and then we're in the profitability on the fourth month, which is 343. So this is the carrying amount. So if you don't know what that means, basically taken away from the price. So you still have 3,500 left on the balance of it decreasing, and then 2,170, and then 870, and then you're in the plus 343. Now, another thing that we do have to look at as well is the price of KASPA coin. So if the price of KASPA coin comes down, obviously these ROI times extend out. If it comes down to 10 cents, which we've seen it at those lows, it's probably going to be extended out till 6 months or even 7 months for the KS5M and 6 months for the KS5L. It obviously is a factor that we can't control, such as the hash rate increase and the price. Those are the really two only things that we can't control. Power cost, we can control that, and the price of the ASIC, we can control that as well. There obviously might be overclocking that comes out for these as well, but those will be negated outwards because of the hash rate hitting the network. If everyone overclocks theirs, it's basically a net neutral. So there's no real advantage to be gained if everyone overclocks these KASPA ASICs. So let's say that you have $7,400 and then $4,800 that you could put into KASPA coin right now. So at a price of 15 cents, and then let's say it goes up to 30 cents, that's going to be double. So I don't know how we would actually calculate that because we can't put a figure on when that is going to happen. We could go based off the KASPA power law, but I don't really think that that's going to fit too well. It has been pretty accurate, but not as accurate to predict as, you know, like within a couple of cents. It's more within an error of around 7 to 8 cents. And that's a big jump that we can't really predict in this video. So we're just going to go based off how much it would take to gain the money back. So once you've ROI'd, how much it would take to gain the money back, the 7,500 and then the 4,800. So with the KS5M, we're looking for 7,500. So in around a year's time, that's assuming that the price of KASPA coin stays the same and the hash rate stays the same, it'd be around 11 months. However, I don't think that that's realistic. Probably the hash rate is going to increase, which means that this could be extended out until around 14 months maybe. And then with the KS5L, if you scroll across, all we need to look for is 4,800. So we hit that in around month 8, but I think it'll definitely be extended probably out until month 11 or 12 with the hash rate hitting the network. So the only question is, do you want to basically take the risk? And there's a lot of factors that could come into play here. Obviously the hash rate increasing and the price of KASPA coin. You're still going to take the same risk by buying KASPA coin directly with this amount of USD value for the ASICs. However, you're only betting on one factor, which is the price of KASPA coin and not the hash rate and the price of KASPA coin. Also, with the electricity rates as well, you're losing a little bit as well. So you obviously have to pay that out to Iceriver. We've accounted for that, but that's still going to be an extra cost, which is going to be included in that. So if you want my opinion on this, and it's only an opinion, it's not financial advice, I think that these are going to take at least around a year on average to get you back to the amount of KASPA coin which you put in originally. That's obviously excluding the price that you paid for the machine, because technically you paid that price for the machine, so the machine is yours, and it doesn't really count as the same thing as just buying the coin. So you're basically making a bet against the price of KASPA coin at that point, because if you buy it now and it doubles in a year, that gives you around 14,000. But at the time, in a year's time, if this has ROI'd and you've gained the money back, it will also be worth double the amount. It's just you're waiting a year. I think it's a good idea if you have the capital. I wouldn't go for the KS5M, I'd go for the KS5L. It looks a way better price point. You're sacrificing some of the efficiency, but it's at a relatively good price right now. And that'll provide you with relatively steady income depending on the price of KASPA coin. So if we change the price of KASPA coin to 10 cents, you can see how this is extended outwards, up to 8 months and then 6 months. So the KS5L is obviously better. Let's actually take this to 0.3, which would be double of what it is now. So the ROI time is pretty good, but the profitability per day is around 109 on the KS5M and around 86 on the KS5L. So these were the same amount of profits that we were getting maybe 6 months ago on the KS3s and the KS3Ms, and those were ROIing pretty quickly. So you can see how 6 months have changed, the hash rate has gone way up, price of KASPA coin is also affecting a lot of these miners. So as we see all the time, you have to come out with more efficient miners, which will mean more hash rate to actually compete in the market. Now these KS3s, they still do okay, but the newer ones are obviously going to do better in terms of efficiency and the ROI times. As I said, the KS5M I wouldn't recommend. The KS5L is a pretty good opportunity, especially at 8 cents per kilowatt hour. Remember that it's going to come online July 10th, and hopefully you guys have learned something from this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment saying if you're getting one or your opinions on the KASPA ASIC hosting from Iceriver.